Welcome. I'm Christine, and this is Yoga for Core Strength. Having a trim midline is definitely so much more than aesthetic. It really is a question of our confidence and our sense of personal power, as well as supporting our back health. I've always had a sensitive lower back, and since having a baby, I've lost some of that core strength. And I realized that it was becoming more and more important for me to reconnect to a practice that was focused on building core strength in a functional and dynamic way in order to support my back, in order to feel more confident, and even to reconnect with my sense um, of inner power, and to reconnect with that sense of um, just personal power, because this part of our body really is a center for our confidence, for our ego, our sense of independence, our sense of accomplishment and pride. So working on our core, again, it's not just aesthetic, even though, there is a pretty good reason why we feel a little bit more confident when we're feeling a little bit trimmer in this area. And it's because it's so connected with our sense of personal power. So today we're going to do a core practice to help us reconnect with that personal sense of power, to help us reconnect with that part of ourselves, to build strength in functional and dynamic ways, but also to have some fun along the way. So let's get started. I'm going to invite you today to sit on a block. Just for this beginning pranayama practice, we're going to do some Kapalabhati, that's the fire breath. And sitting on a block, I find, just kind of gives us a chance to lift. And if you don't have a block, you can do a pillow, a folded blanket. Just lift your hips up a little bit if you can, preferably with something firm so that you can kind of root down and get grounded into it. And make sure your sit bones are connected there. And just having that foundational base will help us to sit up a little bit taller through the spine, rolling the shoulders back. Good. Little thumbs up on both hands. And then bring the hands out. Those thumbs come right in front of your eyes with outstretched arms. Bring the arm bones into the shoulder sockets. So what does that mean? I want you to kind of pull your arms back, the shoulders back a little bit. Good. Broadening through the collarbones, and then open the arms up into a V. The thumbs are now pointing in. Kapalabhati breath is simply a quick exhale, right? So it's a pulling of the belly in that pushes the air out. And because we push the air out forcefully, we create a vacuum so that the inhale happens very naturally. And it looks something like this. Right? So the belly's just snapping in. We're going to do 3 rounds of 10 breaths like that. You can build up to be able to do continuous breaths up to 100 and do several rounds of 100, but we're building our core strength today. So we're going to do 3 rounds of 10. All right? Start by taking a breath in and then forcefully exhale 10 times. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. I'm going to do it with you this time. I think it'll go a bit better. All right, and exhale. Big breath in. And just one more like that. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. There you go. And relax the arms down. So Kapalabhati breath, I'm still working on it, trying to get my core strength back, trying to get that rhythm back. Hence why the 3 rounds of 10 breaths as we build strength to that. And this helps us connect with the fire. It helps us stoke the fire within. Great. So up next, our warm-up to work on our core. We're going to be doing things that involve the spines. We're going to start with the 6 movements that the 6 different planes of movement in the spine to warm ourselves up. We're going to start with twists. You can stay seated on your block here. Very simple twist. Take your right hand over to your left leg, your left hand over to the ground behind you. Roll the shoulders back and twist around. Even look back. Your neck is a part of your spine. We want to have the entire spine as part of this twist. Use your inhale to sit up tall and your exhale to maybe go a little bit deeper in your twist. These are little movements that you can feel with your breath. And then as you inhale, come back around. Switch sides, left hand to right leg. Right hand supporting you, just kind of like giving you a little bit of a prop there to continue sitting up tall. Roll the shoulders back so that the shoulder blades can then press the chest around deeper into the twist. Look over your back shoulder and breathe. Inhaling, sit up tall. Exhaling, twist. One more. Good. And then you can release. Good. We won't need this block anymore. You can put it aside. And we'll come up to standing to continue with these movements of our spine as we warm up. So come to standing, and standing with your feet hip distance apart just so that you're nice and steady here. Inhale and take your arms up and overhead. Hold on to your left wrist. And then tug that left wrist over to the right side. And you can even start to press your hips over to the left as you arch a little bit more. All right, so we're not tipping the chest forward, we're not arching back, we're just doing a lateral movement in the spine. Inhale to straighten up, get really, really tall. Change your grip. You're just essentially pulling that right hand over to the left to get even more space in the right side of the body. Pushing the hips even. Exhale, go a little deeper. And inhale, come up. Relax the arms. Good. We'll stand up at the top of the mat. As you inhale, reach your arms up. And we'll just hinge at the hips and come all the way down, folding over your legs. And we're going to think about like a cat-cow leg movement. If you've ever done that on your hands and knees, same idea here. As you inhale, come up halfway, hands in your legs, roll the shoulders back, even arch your spine, look up. And then as you exhale, round your spine and fold. You can tuck your head in towards your knees. Just two more like that. Inhale, arch. And exhale, fold and round. Inhale, arch. And exhale, fold and round. Good. Spine is nicely awakened now. Let's step back to a plank pose. Both feet come back. Rest your knees onto the ground and come down onto your belly. I'm going to bring the forearms parallel to one another. We're on the elbows here. And I tend to need to not walk the elbows in just a little bit closer than what tends to feel natural at first because we roll on the flesh of the forearms, right? So you want to feel now that once your bones are down on the ground, your forearms are still parallel. Good. So tucking the toes. So we are in a Sphinx posture, but with the toes tucked. Roll the shoulders back and think about wind going into a sail. Right, so the chest is the sail, and the wind presses the chest forward. The shoulder blades can come back to support that movement of the chest forward. Start to pull your navel in really, really strongly, so much so that it even begins to lift off the ground if possible. Good. As you exhale, pull in so much that even now your thighs lift and your hips come up and we're in a forearm plank. So your head will come down just to look between your forearms. Your head is stacked at the top of your spine. Good. And press your hips back to the floor. Roll the shoulders back. Wind in the sail. Two more like that with the breath. Exhale, lifting up. Pull the navel in. Bring the head to look between the forearms. Inhale, hips down, arch. Wind in the sail. Last time, exhale, coming into that forearm plank. Good. This time we're going to stay right here. Replace your elbows with hands. 1, 2. There you go. Downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal out your heels a little bit. Just get into your legs a touch. Roll the shoulders around a few times. Get some movement there in the upper body. Good. You have a slight bend in your knees now as you try to bring your sit bones up a little higher. Bend your elbows out to the sides and then try to tuck them down as though you were going to somehow bend your elbows towards the back of your mat. You won't, but just try to get that rotation in the upper arm bones. Then relax your chest towards your legs and maybe intend your legs a little bit straighter, hips still reaching high. Let's take the right leg up into the air. Let's try to keep the hips even with one another, right? So instead of lifting the right hip higher than the left, try to keep them squared. As we exhale, bring the knee all the way up towards the face, round through the spine. You're coming into like a three-legged plank, if you will. Really pushing the floor away and floating above the ground. Then inhale and come back to that three-legged dog, hips still square. Good. Connect with that core strength by really using it to lift yourself from the earth. Exhale and do the same thing. Round forward, lift from the earth, lift from the earth. And then come back. One more just like that. Exhale, round. Inhale, back. Good. We're going to do a little bit of a twist this time. Bring your knee forward, but then also bring it a little bit to the left, as though you were going to tap your left tricep or elbow. Maybe it's just your forearm. No big deal. Inhale, back. Two more like that. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back. Exhale, twist to the left. And inhale, back. Good. Now you're going to your right arm. Try to touch your tricep. And then back. Exhale, float. And back. Last time, and we're going to stay there. Knees up high. Now start to lower your knee towards your wrist, and then pick it back up. Lower to your wrist, and pick it back up. Lower, lift, and now step through. There we go. So foot up between the hands, front knee right over the ankle. We're going to stay up high on the back toes. And inhale, float. All the way up. Navel is in to support your spine. Shoulders are relaxed. Front knee over the ankle. Good. From here, we're going to be bending the elbows, and it's almost like you're pulling yourself up over a cliff. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together down the back, and bend the back knee and hover it just above the earth. Inhale, come back up the arms and unbend the knee. Two more like that. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Good. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Roll the shoulders back and bow to the inside of the front knee. Relax the head. There's a little balance here. You might need to focus your gaze. As you inhale, float the arms back up overhead. Ooh. And then turn. Good. We're going to come into goddess pose. So we're facing the long edge of the mat. The toes are turned out, the heels are in. And instead of tipping forward with your chest, try to sit straight down between your legs. Bend the knees out, tracking them as best as you can in the same direction that your toes are pointing. Good. And we'll come back to those cactus-like arms right there. The shoulders are back, the chest is open, the navel is in. Doing rotations now with the upper body. Bring your right elbow down towards your thigh. Then tip your chest forward. You're going to kind of stick your bum out a bit here. Hover your chest parallel to the ground. And then tip so that your left elbow is moving towards your left thigh. Back up again. Good. Two more like that. To the right. Forward. To the left. And up. And then this one nice and fluid like a circle. And there it is. Sit a little bit deeper. And then reach up. Good. Bring both hands down to the ground. Step to a plank pose. Coming into Vasisthasana. Right hand wants to be nice and firm on the floor. Grip with your fingertips. Spread your fingers wide. Turn out to the outer edge of your right foot. You can always do this with your right elbow on the ground if you have issues with your wrists here. Stacking both feet together, if that works, left hand to the sky. Now, if it doesn't work, if it's just a little bit too much, you take that left foot and you put it down on the floor in front of your hips. It'll give you a little bit more support and take some of the weight out of that right shoulder. If you can, you stack your feet. Lift your hips high. We're going to move. All right? Take a breath in. And as you exhale, just sweep your left arm underneath you and even look back a bit. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, lift. And exhale, sweep. Good. Come back up. And we'll turn it into a wild thing. Take your left foot, step it behind you. Oh, it's a little bit of support, actually. That's kind of nice. Good. Lift your hips up. Roll both of your shoulders back as you start to turn your chest towards the sky. Press your hips up. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, come back to a plank pose with both hands down, both feet down. Take a breath. Exhale and lower to the ground. Roll the shoulders back, little cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 5 breaths in downward dog. Feel that fire building up inside of you. I'm going to take that left leg up. I'm going to try and keep the hips square, right? Straight through to center with your knee. Exhale, round and lift away from the floor. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, round and lift. Inhale back. Exhale, round and lift. Inhale back. All right, we're doing a twist. Try to touch your right arm with your left knee. And then go back. 2 more like that. Twist. And back. Twist. And back. Good. Left arm this time. You're going out to the side. And back. And back. Good. Last time, and we're going to stay there. Have a little bit of fun, little pulsing here. Hover the knee down, lift the knee up. Hover it down, lift it up. Hover down, lift up, and whoo, step your foot through. Here we go. High lunge. Front knee over the ankle. Back heel lifted, nice and strong, and float, float, float. Arms all the way up. Good. Navel in. Pull yourself up over the cliff. Bring the elbows down, squeeze the shoulder blades, hover the back knee above the ground, and inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And in. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Roll the shoulders back and bow to the inside of the leg. Relax your head. Inhale, sweep back up again. And then open it to goddess, facing the long edge of your mat. Toes are out, heels are in. We'll sit down between the legs. Those cactus arms. Elbows are bent up, hands are up. Good. This time we're just going to go side to side. Exhale to the right. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale to the left. Inhale up. X. In. X. In. X. In. X. In. One more each side. And we sit deeper, deeper first, always deeper first. And inhale up. Good, cartwheeling the hands down. We're stepping to plank pose. Setting up with our left hand. You want to get that grip, fingers spread wide, gripping with the fingertips, coming onto the elbow if that's required. Outer edge of the left foot, stacking the feet or placing the foot down on the mat in front of you. Inhaling and taking your right arm up to the sky. Big breath in. Exhale, bring the arm down, even twist a little bit, looking over to the left side of your mat. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. In. X. This time up. Take that right foot and step it behind you. Press the hips to the sky, wild thing. Good. Shoulders back, bum squeezing. And return. Hips to the sky, downward dog. Take a breath and sigh. Knees down and come to a child's pose. I like to have knees apart, toes together. There's room for my belly and my chest to relax down. allow the breath to settle. Take a breath in and let out a little hum. 2 more hums. Slide your hands in so you can push yourself up to sitting. And let's come to lie on our back. And place your feet underneath your knees. They're a few inches away from your bum, but you should be able to find your heels with your fingertips. We'll move with the breath here. So as you inhale, the hips come up, the arms go all the way up and overhead. And then as you exhale, we bring everything back down, hands down by the hips, hips to the floor. We'll do 4 more like that. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, lowering. Inhale, lift and squeeze the bum. Exhale, down. 2 more. Last one. This time, keep your arms by your sides, but lift your hips up. Squeeze the bum to get up there. Try not to squeeze the knees in so that they touch, but also don't let them splay out. There's this sort of inner and outer action happening, both squeezing in and squeezing out. Everything happens at once. Okay, you can maybe roll your shoulders underneath you a bit more now, so that you really feel that the chest is open, even interlacing the fingers and pressing the arms down. And then even if your arms are still separate and your hands are on the floor, I want you to think now about pressing the back of your head into the ground, just so that you feel those neck muscles engaging. Deep, long, full breaths, firing up the back of the body, also a part of your core strength and your sense of power. And then slowly releasing the hands, letting the hips settle. Let's take the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little rock from side to side. And we'll do a twist here. You can just keep the knees stacked and then twist your knees over to the left side, trying to bring your right shoulder back to the floor and turning your head to the right. Or if it happens to be something that works nicely for you, you can cross your right leg over your left to do the same thing. This deepens the twist if the spine feels open to that. Inhale as you come out of your twist. Prepare for the other side. If you want to cross your legs, you can do that, or just stack your knees. And the legs go to the right. Turn our head to the left. You want to try and keep your left shoulder down. Whenever we're twisting, we're trying to keep one part of the body steady so that we actually twist away from it in the other part of the body. Whereas the shoulders kind of come with you, then you're not really twisting, you're just rotating the body. Of course, that's what adds the challenge to the twist, right? And inhaling to come back up with the legs. Little happy baby here. Knees come in, we separate them, arms to the insides of the knees. And you can try to catch the outsides of your feet. And then bring the feet so that they're facing the ceiling. So you're kind of like in a squat position while lying on your back. If this reaches a little bit too far away, you can bring your hands more to your ankles or your shins, of course. Or another option I really like for this pose is just hands on the inner knees, and you can just rock right there, getting a stretch in the outer thighs. Whatever feels sweet in your body right now is really release effort and tension. You can move even. Maybe you want to kick out one heel at a time and get a bit of stretch. Maybe you want to rock around a bit side to side. See what works for you here. And then we'll come into our final rest, a Shavasana, extending the legs out, keeping them a little bit separated, maybe even finding the edges of your yoga mat so that you can keep the legs open wide, arms by your sides with the palms up. Feeling that fire within yourself in the pit of your belly. A fire that's growing brighter and warmer. Shining a light on just how powerful you really are. May this practice boost your confidence and reconnect you with your sense of self, with your own unique flame. May building a stronger core also support the health of your body, promoting more back strength, back support, relieving any pain or discomfort. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rock your head a bit side to side here, just waking up. Ankles, wrists, movement. Stretch out now. Point your toes away, reach your arms up overhead, take a deep breath in. And release. Bend your knees so that you can roll over onto your side and gently press yourself up to sitting. And bring your hands to prayer at your heart. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today, as we all build a little bit more strength together, reconnecting with that sense of power inside of ourselves. Namaste.